Winter. Sometimes I still can't believe what I see with my eyes when I step outside. Sunny moments turned into snow showers and stopped just in time for the dogs to head outside.
Ernie's getting ready to go outside, so this helps his feet. These are just balloons that I cut the tops off, and they stay on his feet pretty well, but if they don't, that's okay. We didn't lose anything expensive, and they also just help to protect his pads. He doesn't seem to mind it. Ready? Donut, he's not happy today.
Just look at the trees over there, Kels.
You just take it easy.
Trying to get those boots off? Ernie? So I've been wanting to try one of these attachments just on some snow to see how it worked. The snow is slightly on the wetter side today, so it's working, but it does gum up a little bit compared to if this were some fluffy powder that were on there. And I think you could pretty much get through this really quickly instead of having to shovel with something like that. So that's what I wanted to try today. The other thing that I don't think we've ever mentioned is that Ernie has Westie lung disease. Multiple ones of our Westies have had this. Essentially, it gets to be a bunch of like scar tissue inside of their lungs, and it builds and builds and builds until eventually they really can't breathe very well. It's not a fun thing whatsoever. We figured out when we got him pretty quickly that he had it just because of our experience with our other dogs that have had it too. You can kind of notice their wheezing and things at different times, but he's been on some specific treatments. He does laser treatments on his lungs, and Kelsey has really kept up with some inhalers and different things to try to hold that back as much as possible. And it hasn't, from the actual tests that we've been doing, it hasn't seemed to progress, but this winter right here we notice right now that he can't handle much of the cold on his lungs at all. And so I don't know if that's getting worse or if it's just the weather and temperature, but unfortunately, you know, this is nothing that can be curable. So he's going to have this, and it's going to get worse over time.
Fiona, come here, Joe. Come on, Joey. Come on, Joe.
Can't everything be this easy as these old vehicles?
When whole chickens are on sale, Kelsey buys a few and spends some time turning one into broth and shredded chicken to freeze for easy use later. She's always doing something to preserve, and it's such an amazing skill to have. One afternoon, some finishing work was being completed on our garage doors, while more snow fell in a hurry outside. The trend of snow and then sun continued as kitchen cabinet install was nearing completion. Natural light is what we were after with this build, and we've definitely achieved that goal. garage door's done, which is nice. Well, all of them except the commercial door because our trailer is in the way, but... Later that afternoon, I headed out into the sun to soak up those precious rays. Beautiful sunny day today, even though it's kind of cold. My plan is just these few remaining trees that are out here in our main section. I'm going to try to trim these up a bit so that we can at least mow underneath here as time goes on. And whether or not we keep some of these rough trees in the long run, who knows, but for now. Can't really get in here because it's so nasty with these thorns. This is an Osage orange, but they still have spikes on them too, so I gotta use my pole saw. Gonna have to get a grapple bucket for my skid loader so I can pile all this stuff up easily. All these thorns and everything in here, just can't grab it with your hands. There's nothing like late afternoon light in the winter, so after some tree trimming, I did some exploring as well. The sun dipped behind the final snowbank and revealed another incredible winter sunset.
Great. So we're at 98.7/8.
Yeah, 43 seems like too much.
Right there.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Is that right?
Otherwise it would have been halfway into the door or farther.
Yeah.
So
does that feel about right?
yeah, that right there feels about right because it's maybe about this far into the doorway.
Okay.
Is that it?
I think we talked about 3.5 feet.
Yeah, I thought so, but that might.
But if we did that, that's, I mean.
Yeah, if you. So let me hold where that is, and you can look because it doesn't look right.
I mean, I'm trying to determine if I'm hanging over way too far on this side. Let's just say right there.
Okay.
I mean, you have to remember that you're gonna have a little bit of the board and batten design here coming out. So it's not gonna be a flat panel, but that's, I mean, that's only an inch max. So, I mean, that's a 16-inch.
Yeah, that'd be too much.
For you, I mean, you wouldn't, not from when you were to sit far back, but 16 inches before your legs hit the back of the island. I think 12.
Yeah. No light in here.
So that's 38 inches out.
So what did you say was 38?
38 deep.
By 57.
57 and a half. 92 and 7. Well, 92 and 3/4.
Back inside the house, door casing and trim were being completed upstairs. We went with poplar, which will be painted, but love the way that the trim makes the room start to feel finished.
Been trying to keep track of our propane usage because when we did our startup of our in-floor heat and all that stuff, it took quite a bit of propane to get everything up to speed. And so I'm just trying to figure out now if that's exactly what it should have been, or if we have to look into some sort of leak somewhere, or just we're hoping not, but we went through quite a bit of propane already, and it hasn't really been that cold except for 2 different stretches here in the winter time for us, and then it's been fairly mild overall. So just paying attention to this every week or so, I go out here and just take a look and see where we're at. So gonna have to keep an eye on that.
I rarely need to leave the property anymore, but exploring country roads and little parks in the 99 will always be something that's good for my soul. So I headed out.
Wanna go way out beyond, do you? Wanna go way out beyond, beyond. Wanna go way out beyond, beyond, beyond. Wanna go way out beyond.
More stunning sunsets happen day after day, and I've been editing more photos as well. Here's a couple from a trip to Minnesota that I took last year. I also use the winter to challenge my creativity or work on some passion projects. I found some footage from a few years ago of Kelsey and a good friend of ours making some homemade noodles. I wanted this footage to feel vintage and old, so here's what I came up with.
These stores in the area that are hiring. 2 days ago. And
Have you made them both ways?
yes,
I want a solid year on it. Rack chicken noodle soup I made last week. Okay. Wait, what's in that?
you know, I gifted her one.
Oh, okay. Seconds. This feels like a lot of flour. Is that right? Okay.
Kind of
Spread
wiggle
it
it
out a
back
little
and
bit.
forth, and then turn it, flip it. I
Yeah.
just lay them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are we doing now? So when you go to put them in the broth, because I remember you made it one summer and you're like, yeah, she had this on the menu.
I also had the opportunity to shoot a live music video for another good friend who was playing a show in Des Moines. you'd like to check out the full video, I'll have a link in the description. Trying to get this container open because we need to get the fence moved to get our AC in. So I had to go find some shovels, but this thing was frozen shut pretty much with snow. Yeah, this is gonna be real tough.
Unless there's anything we can do to lift it, like.
Well, that's what I was saying. You still got it tied on that side, so you can't lift because they have it tied
Yeah,
in.
you're right. To me, that's enough for them to get it in here.
Should be. So we can put it back for right now until we need to move it tomorrow.
Right.
And after all that, we decided we want a concrete pad underneath the AC, but that is work for another day. Been finding some of these trails here. We can see where something is just going right down through here, right underneath the fence, and over into the other property. So I just want to put out a trail cam here and see if I can just see what that is. See if I can find a tree to put this on. Prints here, definitely. Looks like, I mean, we do have some bobcats around here. We got coyotes. If I don't get a good shot in that location, I can probably put it on that one right there next time and go across here. But the closer that it is, the better. Give that a try. Back in the house, more trim work was being completed, and we also prepared to have our tile shower installed. Wanted to give you an update on the windows and the humidity situation, and actually haven't seen any more water on the windows or any condensation really at all recently. It's been down to 5 below, somewhere around there as the actual temperature, and everything has been looking good here as far as the moisture goes. So what we actually had installed is this vent system, and that, well, of course, here's our zoning, but this vent over here actually vents so that it brings in fresh air and takes that from the outside and brings that in and mixes with everything. So that has definitely helped a lot to fix some of the issues we were having, as well as we had a commercial dehumidifier in here for a couple weeks, which helped. With the unseasonably warm temps sticking around more often than not, I've been working on building our firewood pile for those bonfire nights ahead. What I'm trying to accomplish down here is, one, this area has a lot of dead timber in it, which I need to clean up, and it's just a good thing to use for firewood, so just kind of putting in the work to get that done. But also, this area, which I'm going to show you right now, is pretty wet depending on the time of the year in spring and everything, so sometimes you can't really take the trail through there. So what I'm doing over here is I'd like to bring the trail right through here, and that will bypass, and then it will come directly through this area and connect with another trail that we have already made through the woods. So that's really my plan, but it's just cleaning up all this stuff over here, a lot of dead stuff that needs to come down. So it just takes some time to do all that. But
Definitely need to get the brush cutter in here too. I was not in this section with the brush cutter last year, so that needs some work too.
Being in the woods and living completely in the moment, there's nothing better. I love the sounds, I love the work, I love everything about it. A few days later, it was warm enough for a rip on the four-wheeler through the snowy trails. It's every boy's dream, or at least it was mine since I was young. The wind in your face and the sweet song of the sound of that motor. But there was a purpose to this little ride as well. I set up a few cameras in a few locations, and here's what I found. This camera didn't catch a lot of the trail as I had hoped, and it did catch plenty of this. A few of these shots are pretty funny. My other camera revealed my arch nemesis from my grass plots last fall. Raccoons. They've been very busy, and if I had to guess, they're probably up to no good, but I guess we'll find that out. Only one quick shot of a coyote, but I decided to move my camera to a spot on the creek. Stay tuned for more trail cam adventures in the future.
Well, it's nice enough today to be out on the porch, a little bit bright, but we'll survive. I think the sunshine here and all this stone on the front warms up nicely, so not sure how much that's going to be a good thing in the summer, but right now it definitely is a nice thing to feel the warmth of the sun and enjoy this nice February day here. Wanted to just give you some general updates here. Kelsey has picked her countertop in her candy kitchen, and she wants to do more explanation on that, but today she's not here, so I wanted to get this video done and out to you guys, but she'll explain that in an upcoming episode. Also, she's having a custom cabinet made for that candy kitchen, so she'll describe more about what that's going to be and what it's for as we move along with that. Some more updates: we have picked our floor and have ordered it, and we won't really reveal that until we get that installed. That is one of my favorite things personally. When we had our old house remodeled on the main floor and then eventually did the same thing on the upstairs as far as the flooring goes, I think the flooring really makes it feel
like a finished home. So I'm looking forward to that, but we'll show you all that as we get to that point. Overall, things are really moving along here. The upstairs is pretty much close to being done for trim, except for my sort of custom French door that is being put in between my larger studio into the smaller studio, so that will hopefully be here soon. We have actually a painting crew coming in to get this done in a more timely fashion than we could do, and there's a whole lot of stuff to do as far as painting with the trim, all the ceilings, all the walls. We have that 19-foot ceiling in the stairway, so it was just easier for us to find somebody who can come in and get this done in a timely manner. That will be coming up, and then also, as I said, we have our flooring lined up that is set to be delivered here pretty soon, and we have our flooring person ready to go. So as soon as all of that gets done, we're going to be able to move into the house here coming up. We've set our goal for being in here and functional by March 15th. So it's a lot later than we had hoped, but things just moved along how they moved along this winter, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it. You just got to keep moving forward. Keep a reminder that this amazing view that I'm looking at is going to be what we're seeing every single day. So always try to come out here and remember that part, and remember that all the struggles and everything that we've been going through to get this done are all part of the process. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this one. We'll see you next time.